Hello guys, my name's Climate of Joe. Welcome back to a new episode of Survival Legacy on the Climate of Joe YouTube channel. Welcome to the stream. I have no idea if there's anyone watching the stream as it stands at the moment, which there is not. Here we go. So we are heading home from this chest room. I spent earlier on today sort of de-lagging my world a bit. Even though the Switch 2 sort of sorted out every bit of lag that I had. All these shulker boxes full of shit everywhere, I've sort of gathered a lot of them up. And decided to sort them out, which is probably what I should have done quite a long time ago. But you know, it's one of those. It's one of them. Sometimes I don't think about what I'm about to do until after I've done it. So, right, we're gonna head this way. Welcome to the stream, absolutely every single one of you. I don't think there is anyone in this stream right now, but that's alright. Let's continue on and build some stuff. So, I want to put these Joy-Cons back in the Switch, because I can use the there we go, that's better. Just want to see, is there anybody watching this stream right now? No, there's not. I'm just going to put that in my Discord server. Here we go. Right, perfect. Now, sorry, just sorting out some stuff a second. Right. Hello, Froggerino. Welcome to the stream. Here we go. I'm just coming in here, guys, to sort out some of my stuff. So, I'm going to go this way. I don't know what's in this. I don't know what's in these two. There should be a... That's not... I don't think there's much. There's not much with the stuff in these two. I'm going to put those there for 2 seconds. Did the stream just start? Yeah, literally like as of 2 minutes ago. I'm just going to have... Just going to have a quick sort out in my chest room for 2 seconds. I would like a stone brick. That's like mossy stone brick, so I don't want those. I just want some stone bricks for 2 seconds so we can fix this. How are you, Froggerino? Welcome to the stream. The one with sort of stuff is here. What are you going to do in this stream? Well, I'm sort of sorting out my world at the moment. What I'm doing here is sorting out my world. So we're gonna make this world look beautiful again. Here we go. So, will you make America great again? Unfortunately, guys, I'm not American. We're going to make my world look beautiful again, though. So I'm trying to get rid of all the shulker boxes that we've just got scattered about the place. Luckily, so I thought about doing this. Here we go. It'd be nice if we had another red shulker box. Joe, my dad tried to hit me with a belt because I didn't want to go to a shower yet. I might become a lawyer. Well, you wouldn't sue him, but if you generally were hit with a belt, it would be illegal. Because you can't hit someone with a belt. Like that is you wouldn't sue. That would generally be a prison sentence. Not a prison sentence, but social services. I'll be back in a minute, everyone. Hello, A-Hill. Welcome to the stream. I'm just going to be back in 2 minutes, guys. It was my birthday the other day. I'm just going to go and grab a piece of birthday cake. I'm back, guys. I'm back. More like a tie. It's more like a shoe. That's still wrong, though. That's still wrong. You can't hit. You can't. It's 2025. I know. You said something about like obviously. I remember you saying something yesterday. What type of cake? Where'd you go, Joe? I went to go and grab a piece of birthday cake because it was my birthday a few days ago. I'm just gonna merge all these into places like that. Here we go. It's African parenting. But if you're an African parent living in Great Britain, you can't turn around and use African parenting. Which they said, it's normally Asia, it's a good way to discipline a kid. Not in the UK though. If you're in the UK, you've got to obey British rules. It's the same like in America, to be honest, A-Hill. Like corporal punishment, so like punishing children by hitting them. You can't do them in America. That is everything. When you're in the UK, you've got to apply by British rules, not. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not allowed in the UK. Like, smacking a child, yeah, is allowed in the UK. It is allowed in England. But that's only like a slight tap. like a tap. No, don't do that. If you hit someone with a shoe or a belt, that is a... If you hit someone with a shoe, a belt, or a tie or whatever, that is where the kid can legally go to the police in the UK and call it child abuse. Well, in a way, back in the day, it's Vamps. Back in the day, it was a good way of discipline. But it's immoral now. It's wrong now. Whereas back in the day, it wasn't wrong. But in the UK, for example, in the UK, if you would smack back in the day, if you smacked a child, it was a form of punishment. You know, always forgiven straight away. But it's wrong to do now. Yeah, in some countries they believe it is discipline, which technically they're not wrong. It is an act of discipline. It's a way of punishment from doing right from wrong, wrong from right. But in 2025 in the UK and other countries, it's seen as wrong because it's not seen as it's seen as an outdated practice. But that's what it is. If hitting with a hand, well, if it leaves a mark, because he earns 90k a year. But no, if you technically have been hit, if you've technically been hit in a form of in a form of corporal punishment, then technically it is a thing. If you were at school and told a teacher that, literally social services will get involved. Social services will get involved, and it's one of those. Should I be hit for not going to shower? Well, no, you shouldn't be hit for anything really. You should, for not wanting to go to the shower. You know, being shouted at makes more sense. Like raising your voice. But being hit is wrong. That's not illegal. That's illegal in the UK. That if that was reported to your school or the local authorities, the school and the local authorities would have no choice but to call social services, and social services can have social services where if they get involved. Social services have the power to literally take children away from their parents. It's a really it's a very drawn out process, but yeah, if social services get involved because obviously they've been referred to. But yes, if that went to social services would have to get involved because, like for example, it happened somewhere recently in a year or two ago. There was a riot in the UK last year because a guy had his children taken from them because they found evidence of bruising all over the kid. But yeah, if that went to, because you said about a belt, if that went to social services would have to investigate it. Which social services, what they do is they investigate whether or what's gone on, and if there is evidence of things like that, they have to get involved. Well, no, it's not strict, Sahil. If you're say your parent whatever has turned around and punished you like wrongly, inhumanely, the social services can legally take you away from your parents. That's their job. To grandchildren. But no, like literally, the UK's not strict. So the UK's sort of simple with it. I just don't want to be in the foster care system. I don't think that would be foster care. Yeah, so the UK, basically the UK, it's there to protect children. It's there to protect children. Which is what's a nanny country? We're in a nanny country. Well, it's not really a nanny country. Great Britain has all these laws to protect children. So if parents are, abusing their children by like corporal punishment and things like that, if they can turn around and get involved. In some countries, yeah. Like Africa is very different, but Africa's quite backwards with some of its more traditional views. Like one of my uni lecturers was initially from Africa, and he said to us like mental health in Africa is just looked at as in some parts of Africa they think mental health doesn't exist, and it's but that's the thing. If that's the case, like with a belt, if that got reported, you wouldn't be taken away. It would just be that that would be an investigation. Hello, Glowbeans. I saw your comment. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, when you said the story about the belt the other day, like that is illegal in the UK. Like African parenting or not, you can't lay a hand on a child in the UK. Like no matter what style parenting, no matter what style parenting you do, you can't do it in the UK. It's like there is other things you can do in other countries, but you can't do in the UK. But it's an interesting one. But yeah, there's things you can't do in the UK. Back in the day, yeah, you could do it. But it's seen as immoral now. It's now seen as child abuse. It's like if someone says to you, it's like if you're punished and you're not given food for the night. Like that's abuse. Like no snacks yet, but dinner, lunch, and tea. That's a vital meal of the day. It's a really bizarre one. It's one of those though. Parents decide the punishment. Parents decide the punishment of their children, but they've got to keep their punishment of their children inside the UK laws. And like what you said, it's vamps is illegal. What the fuck is happening with the man of the Adriana grenade? What do you mean What do you mean the Adriana? Oh, to be honest, all kids are illegal. Well, no, not kids aren't illegal. But yeah, hitting children. Ariana Grande. If you're talking about the Ariana Grande, if you're talking about the Ariana Grande bombing, that was bloody years ago. That was almost 10 years ago. I wouldn't know what's happening with that because the guy's in prison for it. That was almost a decade ago. That was a decade, almost a decade ago. Bloody hell. Yeah. So yeah. Would you rather have a kid at 16 or 60? Well, you can't really have a kid at 60, or you can. If somebody has a kid at 60, the wife's got to be younger, because most women can't really have pregnant. Most women can't really be pregnant after 40. After like 40, 45. I never said how old the lady was. But yeah, if you have one at 60, like you've already had the better part of your years. You've already had the better part of your years when you were 60. At 16 though, you're really young. You got your life ahead of you. Do you want to have that? But at 60, do you want at 16, you've got, or 80, I mean, you wouldn't have one at 80, but at 80 years old, I don't think you can cope with the stress. Well, some celebrities had one at 80 a few years ago, like Robert De Niro had one when he was 79, and Robert De Niro had a kid. Robert De Niro conceived a kid when he was 79 a few years ago. And you got to think though, that's the better part of your years are gone. Like when you're 60, I think 16 is quite young. There was a girl in my school year that I have no idea, but Al Pacino had one at 83. Let me think a second, guys. So yeah, Al Pacino had one when he's 83. There was a guy a few years ago, he was 96. Here it is. 96-year-old man. A 96-year-old man has fathered a baby. In 2012, Ramit Raghav had a child at the age of 96. He had his first child at 94. And I think the guy, so he had 2 children in his 90s. Well, Ramit Raghav is dead now. Ramit Raghav is dead now. He died in 2020. He was 104. He had 2 children, one at 91 and one at 94. He had one at 94 and one at 96. So his children would now be 13. His children would be 15 and 13. Just unbelievable. Now, YouTube wasn't a dating app. YouTube wasn't meant to be a dating app. YouTube wasn't meant to be a dating app. It was meant to be about broadcasting. That's not actually true. Well, they were boys, which is why it said son. Hold on a minute. So, for example, say they did that. Say they had children when they were 96. It would mean their grandson, his grandson, would be. Say that one boy. Say one of the kids had a child at 96, like he did. If they were 96, that would be in 2000 and what? That would be like That would be 2100 and something. That would be 2100 and. That would be if one of them had a child at 96, that would be 2106. In 2106. So, in 2106, that guy would be 192. So their granddad would be almost 200 years old. Do you mean Ariana? Jasper? Do you mean Ariana? There's no such person called Adriana. Sap, I got ribs. Do you mean ribs? 192, yeah. So, for example, Ariana. Sorry, Ariana. Why did it change to Adriana? Ariana, yeah. Ariana Grenade. When he said Ariana Grenade, I thought he was talking about the Manchester bombing, because the Manchester bombing happened 8 years ago this year. Carolina Reaper, bloody hell. Fair play. Ooh. Yeah, YouTube wasn't meant to be. I don't think YouTube was. I can't spell, guys. Sorry, it's alright. Well, yeah, YouTube was conceived as a video dating website, but then they changed their mind last minute. The first general purpose video sharing site was actually Dailymotion, but Dailymotion's better. Dailymotion's more professional. I have no idea. Ooh, let's take these enchantment books with us. They're not very good. But yeah, how is everybody on the stream today? Hyperfixations. Do you mean hyperfocus? Not everyone has hyperfixation though. I'm going again by. Let what protect you? I have no idea what you just said. Hyperfocus. Happy New Year in advance. Oh, thank you. Happy New Year to you. Yeah, only 2 days left of this year, guys. Only 2 days left of 2025. Jesus. My Minecraft world is 10 years old this year. 10 years old. As soon as your YouTube video turns 10 years old, does that mean it becomes part of history? Pardon me for the burp, sorry. Well, not yet. My Minecraft world will be 10 years next August. A decade isn't history. In a concept, YouTube is. So my Minecraft world was created 7 years after Minecraft. So my Minecraft world I've had for 10 years, so it is history. It's a decade. Some of you guys that have watched my streams this year weren't even born when I created this YouTube channel and this Minecraft videos. Like, if any of you are like 13, 14, I created this YouTube channel when you were like 4 or 5. Yeah, but if any of you were 13, 14, I created this YouTube channel when you guys were 4 or 5. I created Climate Joe. I really like that build. Well, normally you would say 6 or 7. You would say that, but people keep losing their minds when I say. But there's a quote in the UK, Froggerino, called 6 or 7, and it's been around for a lot longer than that. It's been around for a lot longer. So if you've got a range of possibilities and you don't know, I don't know, there could be 6 or 7 opportunities. You could be 6 or 7 opportunities. Do you think I should be drinking a whole bottle of hot sauce called Pepper X? I have no idea, Dylan. I've got to be honest, I have no idea. As long as it doesn't... I prefer traditional British food, to be honest, guys. I prefer traditional British food like chicken and chips, steak and things. I prefer more traditional British food. But that's just my preference. That is just my preference, though. Hold on a minute. Scones dipped in mayonnaise. Ugh. That is a sin. Not back 2, not back. Power 4, not back 2. Keep these. Efficiency 1, that can go. I didn't need to click the power one. Those can stay in there. Beans on toast, though. Beans on toast is an interesting one. The reason beans on toast is a very traditional British food is because it was simple to make. Oops, the cats, alright? The reason beans on toast is so big in British food is because it was simple and easy to make. You could make it quick. You could make it quickly if you were working on a long day. No, I don't like peanut butter. I don't like peanut butter, but peanut butter is more of an American thing. I don't like peanut butter, no. Tuna's alright, but it's not my go-to. I like that. I like these. I like these shulker boxes we've done. Oh, this one's over here. Okay. Boosh. Does there happen to be... There happens to be a shulker box. There happens to be a shulker box here with stuff in it. Good. I'm going to go through this shulker box. Let's just get my pickaxe out. I'm going to go for this shulker box here and just opt to what we want to keep. Smite 2, efficiency 2, power 3. Might keep that one actually for now. All these are pretty good. Efficiency 3 though. How many things do I have? I just went into a shulker box, didn't I? And I found something. Here we go. Efficiency 3 and efficiency 3 makes efficiency 4. United 1. Do they? Oh, yeah, I saw. Sorry, I saw that with the kids' youth. With the kids' youth. Didn't know they were playing today. I didn't know they were playing. I know there's games tomorrow. I'm aware of the games that there's a load of Premier League games tomorrow because I know Everton are playing. Nottingham Forest away, which they battered them the other week, but I'm slightly nervous today. I'm definitely nervous today because the shears in here. The youth on Sunday. Was there youth in that team? I thought Man United. When I looked at that game, it didn't look very youthful. To be honest, this doesn't really look very youthful to me because I looked at it. Lautaro Martinez is at least 30. Oh, sorry, 27. Yeah, when I looked at their lineup, they doesn't look very youthful. I mean, the only youthful person they had, I know Dorgu's 21. And I know Heaven's not that old. But that's the only two people that I think are useful in that squad. I know he's not 19. Seven players under 23. I wouldn't say they're youthful though. I think youth is under 20. I personally think youth is under 20. Youth is under 20 because if it says youth, normally they're under 18 because you're not youthful. Youth is 15 to 24, but I think it's 15 to 20. Yeah, players under 23, I don't think that's really youthful. At 23, you've been an adult 5 years. That's just my opinion though, Warabelly. Welcome to the stream, by the way. That's just my opinion. But I don't think people are really youthful. I don't think youth covers people that are in their 20s. I'm not 24. No, but youth. If you're youthful, if you're obviously when they call you youth, youth is like childhood. A child is youth. Your youth is basically your childhood. So I don't think people over 20 are classed as youth. They're classed as basically young adults. They're classed as young adults. That's just my preference, though. But everything's all the sites now. Yeah, I'm not 24. Yeah, but you lose your youth and you get that vast amount of experience. But you have had a lot of experience. Well, yeah, he's 18. Well, you're a child up until you're 18. Is Yamal youth? Yes, well, Yamal's 18 years old. Yamal is 18 years old. Yamal is 18 years old. So youth in football players, I think is under 20, because by the time you're 20 years old, most good players, most young players are in and around the first team by the time they're 20. Like, so Jamie Vardy, for example. Jamie Vardy, who used to play for Leicester. Jamie Vardy was seen as an absolute shock because he didn't get a start in the Premier League till he didn't get a start in like top football until he was 25. So I don't think you're classed as youthful when you're 23 because Jamie Vardy was seen as old at 25 when he got his first start for Leicester, when he got the sign into Leicester. That's just my opinion, though. The experience is one thing, but I don't think that's what youth is. You lose your youth when you gained a large amount of experience. But life experience is completely different. Life experience is sort of a joke. Like, you don't. But I wouldn't consider them youth, because youth, if you're players under 23 that aren't getting into the squad, are they first team ready? It's not about experience. It's not about experience. Mainly with teams like Manchester United, which one thing of Manchester United as an example would be Man United. Their biggest problem for all those years, for many years, they never brought anyone new into the squad. They never brought in any youth players. They never brought in any players through their academy. Youth players are people that have came through the academy, not people that are under 23. It's people that came through their academy. And that was what Man United's problem was for years, is they never used to bring anyone through the. If someone did come through the academy, it was very rare. That's why they call them. That's why they're called youths, players that come through the youth academy. It's not about experience. It's about people that have come. It's about whether people have come through their academy, which is why they call it the youth academy. So, for example, one big player that came through Everton's youth academy in recent years was, what's his name? Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon came through Everton's youth academy. Wayne Rooney. I can think of a couple more. That's what they mean by it. That's sort of what they mean by it. And that's why Man United have got so many youth players under 23. Because for many years they just didn't bring anyone through. But most people that are 23, sorry, I burped there, that's horrible. Most people that are 23 are normally in their in the first team squad by that point. But then you have players that play for the under 23 teams because they can't get into the squad. For an example, Everton had a player a few years ago. No, but what I meant, Orabelli, is they're not from the youth academy. Dorgu was signed. Xerxes was signed because he came from Bayern. Because I can remember him coming. Sorry, Dortmund. No, which one did he? It was Bayern, wasn't it? I forgot which team he played for now. Joshua Xerxes. I know he didn't come through Man United's academy because Everton tried to sign him 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, because this is why I said youth. For example, this is why I said youth doesn't really work. It isn't really for people that are like in their 20s, 23. You know, Joshua Xerxes, he might still be only around 20, 22. 21, 22, 23. But he had experience playing somewhere else. I know he played somewhere. Xerxes, I know he played somewhere. I'm going to search his name up a second because I know Everton wanted him 4 or 5 years ago. Joshua Xerxes. Oh, it's not even load. The Google's now decided to not even load. Good. Here we go. Joshua Xerxes. He's 24. Joshua Xerxes not under 23. He's 24. I know he came through Bayern's academy because Everton wanted to sign him. Yeah, Bayern Munich, played for Bayern Munich from 2019. So he was already in Bayern Munich's sort of squad. He was in and around Bayern Munich's squad when he was 17, 18. That's what I mean. Like, a lot of players they've signed. That's sort of what I mean. Like, I don't think people who are under that are youth. So, for example, like Dorgu's not a youth player for Manchester United because he played somewhere else. He played for Lech. So he's a young player that's coming into the squad, but he's just a regular signing. Youth players, when they call someone youth, it's normally because they've came through their academy. Which is why they call it the youth academy. Man United's problem for years was that they didn't bring any young youth players through. Which every team's done that. Everton haven't brought many youth players through in recent years. Anthony Gordon came through and did really well. Jarrad Branthwaite was bought for Everton's youth academy. But yeah, that's sort of what I mean. Like, some of those players were actually bought by Man United's first team and had no intention. There you go, thanks for the chat. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a youth team because some of those players were generally played for someone else first. Youth is more. When they say youth, it's more about the players that have came through their academy, like have been there their whole lives. Like, for example, Liverpool's Trent Alexander-Arnold. He played there. He went there through their academy from when he was 7, and he was a Liverpool youth. because he went from there. He played for them the whole way through. Hello, hello, Roano Zoro. Welcome, Zoro. Welcome to the stream. I do apologise. I did read your comments, but I didn't read it out because I was still discussing the topic. I was still discussing that topic. How have you been? I've been really good. How are you? Oh, my nose. Yeah, have a good day, Aura Belly. Have a good day. But yeah, some of the Man United's players that would be classed who are under 23, some of them are shoulder. Ooh. Ouch. Youches. Are you okay? Now that is a painful one. I've never done it, but I've seen someone do it, so I know so I understand how painful that is. I feel the pain, but I'm fine. Jesus. How did that happen? Out of curiosity. Sorry, I was just looking at the football matches for tomorrow. Happened I was playing soccer. Ouch. Yeah. That sounds nasty. Guys, thank you for all watching these streams this year. I intend to stream tomorrow. And I intend to stream on Wednesday. I intend to stream tomorrow. I intend to stream tomorrow and on Wednesday. Thank you for being you guys on these streams this year. We've got 2 more streams to do this year, and I want to thank all of you guys for watching them because you guys have been incredible. There's only going to be 2 more streams from me this year. We've literally got only 2 days. We've got only 2 days left in this year. We got tomorrow and Wednesday. I really love this, guys, what we did yesterday. We remade our train line. Yesterday we redeveloped our train line. Hello Beavers, welcome to stream. Just travelled 2 hours on a train to link... Sorry, I read that wrong then. Hi Joe, I've just travelled 2 hours on a train to link my mates who ended up not even meeting me because they wanted to smoke crack instead. I'm travelling 2 hours back home and I think your stream is what I need. That's horrible. Especially when you've come all that way as well. 2 hours is a lot. Two hours is generally a lot of time. I mean, fair play. That means you must be a good friend to get on a train. To get on a train for 2 hours to go and see people that don't even want to meet you. I mean, fair play. That's horrible. Especially after you've gone. That is horrible. Especially after getting on a train for 2 hours to go and see people. You took the time out of your day to get on a train for 2 hours to go and see someone. Yeah, that's absolute. Sorry for the emotion, bro. That's all right. But you've got to have emotion. You've got to have emotion. No, that's wrong. That is wrong, especially after you got on the train for 2 hours. I mean, 2 hours there, 2 hours back. That's 120 minutes each way. That's 204. That's 240 minutes on a train that you won't get back. And honestly, as well, that means you're a good friend. Then, that means you're a good friend. You've gone 2 hours out of your way to go and see someone, and for them to do that, that's absolutely horrible. I feel so bad. That is just tight. You don't want to see a friend. You don't want to see a friend. You get on a train for 2 hours and your friend doesn't want to see you because they want to smoke crack. Is crack worth more than friendship? I don't think so. That's the thing though. That's why I'm really bad socially, guys. But that's why you've got to put your priorities in order. With people nowadays, you've got to put your priorities in order. What would you rather do? See your friend or smoke crack? And I think 9 times out of 10 people pick the worst option. That's bad. But honestly, I feel so sorry for you. That's shocking. We're trying to think of what to build at the moment. I have no idea what to build. Did you have a good Christmas, Beavis? I feel fine. I feel like I have tuned in the stream. I feel like I have tuned in the stream. I have an idea. Cool. What's your idea, Zara? When you said sorry for the emotion, it's better to have emotion. We had a person yesterday that apologised because they got quite political. But I'd rather them get political and express an opinion rather than sit there in silence. I think it's better. Yeah, it's becoming. I feel like I have ruined the stream. You haven't ruined the stream. You haven't ruined the stream. You haven't ruined the stream. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm spell checking before commenting. It's all right. I'm very bad at spell checking, so when I write a book, I sometimes realise 2 months later that there's a spelling mistake. But yeah, you've not ruined the stream. You've not ruined the stream. What you've commented does not ruin the stream. In fact, it probably makes it better. That's raising awareness of what some people can be like. For example, a close friend of mine, he had another friend of ours text him and ask him if he could borrow money because he couldn't pay the rent. And then we found out that earlier that day he'd spent £200 on buying DLC. We found out that he basically used the rent money on buying DLC in a video game. So yeah, you haven't ruined the stream. You can't. No one can ruin a stream. But raising awareness, it's raising awareness of how dickish some people can be. For example, I had a similar case with a college project. Hello Apollo, welcome to the stream. Let's take this stone back. Actually, how was everybody... Saying that, how was everyone's Christmases? How are you doing? I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking. I'm doing really well. How are you? Ooh, pardon me. How was everyone's Christmases? Mine was... If you want awareness, here it is. Yeah, I love raising awarenesses of things I love raising awarenesses of topics. I think personally, guys. You got a new monitor, cool. I bought a Nintendo Switch too. Just surrounded by dogs, cool. Yeah, I think that I love raising awareness of stuff. I think you've got to raise. I think it's necessary to use your space to raise awareness of important topics. If you've got a following, you should raise awareness. That's my belief. Which is why I make so many jokes. Which is why I make so many jokes about the fact that I'm quite overweight. I do that so obviously to raise awareness that obviously it's not bad if you're overweight. It's not bad if you're short, tall, whatever. Because I've had people. I have smoked crack and generally doesn't feel like it's going to hook you, but you look at the people who've been in it and it slowly changes your brain. Yeah. Yeah, obviously, I don't do drugs, guys. I don't do drugs or alcohol. Or smoke. But yeah, like, there was a guy in my school year. Did you make your whole Minecraft world survival? Yeah, this whole world is survival, yeah. I'll be honest, Beavers, I knew a guy who was in my school year. He started taking drugs when he was like 13, 14, and he was a massive guy. This guy who was in my school year, he was absolutely massive. He was like really, really fat. Because of all the drugs he was taking, by the end of my second from last year at school, he was skinny. This guy was skinny, but it was because all these drugs had caused, all the drugs he was taking had made him skinny. And it's like, but yeah, it does, it's very, that stuff can be very addictive. It's like if you go out into the public, if you go out into the public and see people that are hardcore drug users, you can tell they're hardcore drug users. Yeah, my whole world is survival. I can understand that, Beavers, but it changes your brain. Like one of my old uni lecturers used to smoke, and he said to us about nicotine. About when you're smoking, you think absolutely you can quit whenever you want. And he said to us in a class, he went, "Sorry, bro, I realise this is a Minecraft stream. Honestly, I've talked about why I hate. I've talked about how I was kicked down on a Minecraft stream. I've talked about how I was kicked down the flight of stairs when I was 14, but how I've got a dodgy ankle ever since. On these talking about hardcore topics on these streams with when I'm streaming Minecraft is basically a dog's breakfast. It's what I do. But I like it though because I'm really interested in lots of different topics. So I learn stuff from you guys and you guys learn stuff from me. I love it. It's a Minecraft stream, but these Minecraft streams for the last year have been just me talking my mind on topics. It's basically the world according to me. Well, not really the world according to me, but yeah, one of my old uni lecturers, he said something along the lines to me. Yeah, that is true. What you just said there is 100% true. So my one of my old uni lecturers said to us about smoking. He was always convinced he could stop smoking. And he started smoking when he was 13, and when he finally stopped, he was 49, because he was convinced every day he could stop. He was convinced. For example, guys, my grandmother started smoking when she was 12 and didn't stop smoking until she was like 81. When you try to use them. Yeah. It's like, there's many things like that. Like gambling. It's the same with gambling. It's the same with alcohol if you're an alcoholic. If you're an alcoholic, it's harder to give up alcohol than give up drugs. And my phone's going to say good night. Good night, Sorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Yeah, to answer you guys' questions and comments, I think it's harder to give up alcohol than smoking, because if you want to give up smoking, you can just stop hanging around with people who smoke, with your friends that smoke. If you want to give up alcohol, if you give up alcohol, you're constantly going to be surrounded by it though, because alcohol's everywhere. Football stadiums, you can't stop associating with people who drink alcohol, because so many people drink alcohol. You can't. It's a very interesting topic. That yeah, alcohol is just everywhere. Like even football companies, you know, support are sponsored by alcoholic beverages. You're always going to see those. You say, I've been here since after 10, trying to meet these decades. Yeah, that's bad. Like, I feel really, really bad for you. At the end of the day, you know, you've gone out of your way to go and visit them. I mean, that's not friendship. Saying yeah, we'll meet you, and then not turning up that's not friendship. True friendship is where you're there for someone no matter what, like no matter what's happened. No matter if you know it's if you got financial trouble or you've had a bad deck or whatever, that's not friendship. Generally, that's really bad as well, especially because 10 o'clock, that's what, 7 hours, that's 9 hours ago. But fair play to you though. That's a sign of being a good friend. It's them that have decided not to be good. I'm the one who organised it. Yeah, you've taken time out of your day to go there to visit them, and for them not to turn up. I've seen people do that before, but that's shocking. But to get on a train for 2 hours, and I'd imagine that's, you've probably gone about 70-80 miles at least. Nah, you can do that. That's probably less. I'm a little bit tipsy, I won't lie. Cool. Yeah, I needed some to calm me down. Well, yeah, I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. I mean, if you weren't tipsy, you probably would have punched them. Well, which is probably quite a justifiable thing. I suppose you could rugby tackle them. Just turn out rugby tackle them. Which I never got. Yeah. I had that with my uni lecturer once. My uni lecturer cancelled the lesson, but didn't tell us. My uni lecturer cancelled the session literally 30 minutes before it started. My uni lecturer cancelled the session 30 minutes before it started, so me and another guy had got on a bus for 50 minutes to get in for college. And he knew his daughter was ill, so he could have cancelled it like an hour before we all got on the bus, and he didn't. True, you know. I used to play it. You could do. It'd be a justifiable thing. Use all your might and all your weight and just crash into them. Good night, Froggerino. Good night. Have a good rest of your day. What am I doing with all these blocks? I want to clear up. My world is turning 10 years old next year. But I generally know what that's like. My lecturer once had COVID. Just inconsiderate. It is inconsiderate. My uni lecturer once did that. He had COVID and didn't cancel the session until we were all walked in the door. And we were all livid because some of us had got on the bus for like an hour. Or it would have been an hour there, an hour back. And he cancelled the session literally in the classroom. Oh, fine, because I got COVID. The lesson's cancelled. You could have told us that before we all got on the bus. That was the most annoying thing I think I've ever seen. But that's worse, especially going 2 hours. But I can understand you needing alcohol to calm down from that one. I have done that to someone before, though. I have not turned up. But I forgot. The time I laughed the hardest... I've laughed the hardest a lot. I've laughed the hardest a lot because I'm quite clumsy. One of the funniest moments I ever did was in football. I was playing football when I was in school. We had a person in front. We had a person that was in my class that was a bit of a bully. He was like 6'4", probably 250 pounds or something like that. And I was shoved in defence, so someone that's like 5'1", 5'2" against someone that's like 6'4", 6'5". Not gonna go well. I missed the ball. I missed the ball. Took him out instead. Took the guy out instead. Got to the ball. And then cleared it into another person's face. And we all sort of laughed. We laughed pretty hard because I just flattened somebody, and because I'd accidentally booted the ball into another person's face after getting back up. But there's been some funny ones. I once went into the woods, everybody. With a friend on a walk. And he went behind a tree to piss. As he come back down the bank, he slipped on his own piss. And landed in a muddy ditch. So I will admit I laughed a lot because How often do you see someone walk off to take a piss, then come back and slip on their own piss? Very bizarre one. Loved it though. Absolutely loved it. But happy memories can be anything. Happy memories can come from anything. My happy memories come from when I'm writing, if I'm doing something fun like photography. When I'm doing my photography stuff, I'm truly happy. But I can go into very funny moments, guys, of some of the shit I've done over the years. I once went sledding, guys, with a friend of mine. My friend's taller than me, but I'm much heavier. So he stopped, and my weight pushed me over down another hill. We were going down a hill. He stopped because he was much lighter. My weight made me go down another part of the hill, and I went under a van. And he had to come down and pull me out because I was somehow down a bank. So I'm gonna scream on, but I'm sure I'll see you later on my next train. Yeah, have a good rest of your day, beavers. If I'm not streaming later on, but that is honestly with all my heart, that is absolutely horrible what they did to you. That's absolutely appalling. What's my opinion? I don't drink, so I've never bought a drink in a pub. But if you're drinking alone, it's probably not the same, because it's just you drinking. But if you're with a group of people drinking, you're probably talking, you're probably laughing. But if you're the only person not drinking, it hits differently. So I don't drink. I have tried alcohol, and I haven't drunk. And I haven't drunk in 4 years. I have tried alcohol, but I haven't had any in 4 years. I haven't had any since I was about 19. But yeah, being the only it's also another question of being the person who's sober. When you're standing in the pub and you see all these other people drunk, and you're with alcohol, drinking alcohol, and you're the only person that's not, it hits differently, because not everything. What's funny to them is not funny to you. To meet people, yeah, it's more of a socializing thing. If you're going to the pub, it's more of a socializing thing. Like, why didn't I drink? I just don't want to. It's just not something that's popped into my head. It's mainly because I don't want to. It's not that I don't really like the taste. But that's just one of those things. It's actually common now. It's actually becoming common. No, Joe. Have a good rest of your day, be this, and get home safely. That is, yeah, what you said is absolutely shocking. But I'm more gentleman. I've got more quite traditional values. So I think if you say I personally think if you say you're going to do something, you do it. So yeah, I feel really bad for what's happened to you, because I have very traditional views, guys. I believe if you turn around and say you're going to do something, you do it. But what Beavers has said, because I realise I'm the only person watching on this stream right now, what Beavers has said is absolutely shocking. To go 2 hours to meet some friends, and then not to show up is absolutely shocking. So yeah, I'm firmly traditional. I firmly have traditional views, guys. So I think if you say you're gonna do something, you do it. Like what I did with, guys, with the A Fat Man Plays Wii Fit. I said I'd do it, so I did. Which, I've got a couple of content ideas I want to do, guys. I want to restart my podcast. I'm going to go AFK, guys, to go to the toilet. I'll be back in a minute. Welcome back, Apollo. Welcome back. Sorry, I just went to go to the toilet. I'm back, guys. I had to go to the toilet. Right, I'm going to quickly go to the mountain because I want to pick up some... I've made a little chest room. I made a little chest room in this mountain because I needed a little bit of space. I needed a little bit of space to build... I've put a lot of the shulker boxes we have on this world. I've merged them all into sort of a place over here to basically keep them all safe. So a lot of the shulker boxes I've merged into a little room. And it's... I don't know what I'm going to call this. Maybe I'll create a little train line to it. Maybe I'll create a little train line to it. So what if I was to turn this way? We could do that. We could do. Put that there a second. I want something from here. Oak logs. I want to work out sort of where I need to go from here. So we need three. So then I'm going to create... No. Let's do 5. I don't think... 5. That'd be 6, 7. So it'd be 7 a time. Yeah, I'm going to do 7 here. I'm going to do 7 here. So nests here will be like this. So we'll have 7 rows of 5. We'll have 7 rows of 4, sorry. Over there we'll have 7 rows of 4. I need to... This is all stuff I want to bring keep with me. But I will need to move that chest. So I sort of now know roughly... I sort of now roughly know where I need to be. So... I sort of roughly know here where I will need to go. So it will be... Sorry, hold on. Where would this plank go? Yeah, it'd be right here, so okay. Oh, bollocks. So it'd be right here, so 7. So it'd be right here, so... Okay, so 7 goes here. So the 7 blocks here will be like that. These 7 blocks here will be... These 7 blocks here will be exactly like that. Then we'll fill the chests in and do that. I am going to end this stream now, guys, because I am knackered. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Next stream will be tomorrow. Thank you for watching.